All right. Good morning, everybody.
You like it? You got good crack. Got cracking today.
Today was the. Morning. So today is Daf Daled Masechus Bava Kama.
Oh,
So we were discussing the different categories of the Mishnah and some of the terminology in the Mishnah, what is referring to. So we had a suggestion at the end of Shir yesterday, towards the I guess the top of today's daf. I mean, a little bit down. So the issue, actually, where do we get to? We got to right Regal. Is that what we got to? Huh? Okay. Those are cats.
Sam Cats. Sam Cats.
Anyway, so we were discussing yesterday that perhaps Shor, right, was referring to goring, and Shor was referring to goring, and Mava was referring to, according to one of the opinions, was referring to the shame. So the Gemara says if those two are included in the Mishnah, right, when it says that, so all right, so we're gonna actually like a third of the way down. Is that where we got to? Oh, okay.
I'm just excited.
So Gemara says the regal. So regal my. So now, if in the Mishnah, right, Mav is referring to shame, and Shor is referring to Karen. So the other damage by an animal, which is its feet, it's walking on, right? So regal my. So Gemara says, so where's regal? Where is that type of damage mentioned in the Mishnah? Share, right? Is it left out? So Gemara says no. Shehizik achav hamadzik lasuye regal. So no. When the Mishnah says, right, this is the extra lashon, right? It says over there, right? Chav hamazik it says, right? So it says over there when it damages, right? All these when it damages, it has to pay. So what's referring to when it damages? That comes to include rego. So Gemara says, it's a major stretch. At least never had you. So write up a ferish. So you're right, major stretch. Let's get a new text. Tana. Shor l'raglo. So when the word means shor, means the walking damage, trampling. And mava, according to this opinion, Shmuel is lashino, right? Is eating. Bachi kamar loyri haregel sheizika matzui. So the damages of walking and treading upon, right? The damages is not similar. Why? Because that is common. But eating is not as common. Right, and the damages of eating is not the same because there is benefit to the damager. Daf Daled, right over here. Daf Daled. Yeah. So and therefore it's not the same. So the Gemara says, okay, fine. So I'm going to ask you the same question. The Karen Mai. So the Gemara says, Shayar left it out. So Shayar, did you leave it out? The Gemara says, no. No, when it says the Mishnah. Right, when it damaged, the mazik damage, that comes to include also goring. I've at least never had you, so say beferish. So our answer is Muadin mitchilasan kamari b'tamin b'ulasayf muadin loy kamari. No, we're talking about a case like this. That which the Mishnah says, right? So those that are listed beferish in the Mishnah, not hinted at, shechav hamazik, that is referring to items that are always muad. You always pay nezek shalit. That would exclude goring because an animal gores for the first time. It's only chasi nezek. So therefore, our mission is not including use of chasi nezek. Ushmul my time lo mekarach. So why did you not say like Rav and say that the word mav is referring to Adam? It says later on in the later Mishnah, Shor hamuad v'shor hamazik. Shor hamuad v'shor hamazik v'shus hanizak. The Adam, it says over there, right, that the Shor Hamuad, right, and later on, so when it lists the one that's Muad, and when the damage is b'shus in the property of the person who gets damaged, they have Adam, and it mentions man over there. So therefore, Adam is mentioned later on. I've recently Bereishis, so why should you include it in our Mishnah? So my answer is Beniske Mama Kamari, Beniske Gufa like Kamari. Our Mishnah is dealing with when your property, something that you own, damages, and is not talking about when you yourself damage. So that's the reason why Adam is not listed there.
Amen.
Mama, shout out to Canada today. Rav Nami.
On Monday.
Get the guy some coffee. He needs to wake up. The Rav Nami Haktani Adam. Rav, it says Adam, the Sefer. So it says over there the Sefer. Why do you list it again according to you, Mava, right? And then the Reisha. So Rav, over there it gave a count. So once it listed all the counts. Umay loy hare. So what does it mean? And the damages are not. So Haki Kamar. So the damages of shore, which one can go ahead and pay for kaifer. What is that? Right? Let's say someone animal gores, right? So a person who kills somebody has to mashalem kaifer kapara. You have to pay atonement. It's a special atonement payment. It's not for damages. It's kapara, right? So an ox can obligate one to go ahead and pay kaifer. So that's not similar to Kriha Adam Shein Misham is a kaifer. So the damages of a goring animal is not similar to that of a person of Maveh. Why? Because a person, if he kills somebody else, even accidentally or whatever reason, however he kills him, Shein Misham is a kaifer, right? In other words, he's either Chayv Misa, right, or he's Chayv Galus. And also the damages of a person is not saying why. What's the damages of a person? Shechai Ba'arbadvar. Right, a person can be chai for 4 things. He causes damage, ripui. He can be boshes, tsar, and nezek, and what's the one I'm missing? And sheves, right? Missing time, right? You guys pay for this missing time. So missing time, the embarrassment, the pain, and the medical expense. So all those he has to pay. But my animal damages someone that's not included. That's not included. So therefore, that's what the Mishnah means when the damages of shore is not the same as damages of Adam, because Adam pays Arba Dvarim and shore does not. Like a shore shein Arba Dvarim. And it's not a Shabbat. Sorry. Well, nezek is actually the damage itself, right? We'll soon see that nezek is actually listed on its own on the base. But let's see. It's a good point. Let's see, because it calls it 4 over here. Hatzad Shabbat Shadar Lahazik. Right, that the nature is to damage. The Gemara says, wait, is sure dark lahazik? What the nature of an ox is to damage? The Gemara says, but muad. No, an animal is already done a number of times. Muad dark lahazik is an animal. It's muad dark lahazik. The Gemara says, yeah. Kaven da'ayin orchehu. Since it goes out and damages, it's the nature of the way. So the Gemara questions, Adam dark lahazik. But a man, you said he's dark lahazik. So the Gemara says the yashin when he's sleeping. So yashin dark lahazik is one in sleeping is the nature is to be mazik. So the Gemara says no. So since he's moving around, stretching, whatever it is, so then he could, yes, it is there to cause damage. And then we said Ushmiras and Alecha, and then says the Mishnah also the Shmir is upon you. So Adam Shmiras Gufa love, right? Who? I understand. We're talking about the person. So how do you understand if Mava means Adam? So what does it mean that his Shmir is upon you? You are him. So Hadatani Karna, that which Karna taught, Arba Avos Nezikin. There are 4 Avos Nezikin, the Adam Echad and the other's one of them. So Adam Shmiras Gufa love. Who? Right? Is Adam his Shmir is Gufa on him. So he goes, Elo Kedamar Le Yavo. The Ravo says the Tani Adam Shmiras Gufa love. Yes, indeed. In other words, it means that really a person he has to watch himself. And the other things that the Shmir is upon him. So Hachinami, so to over here we can interpret that mission. That's not so shver to say to the page. So to over here we can say that yes, he can even his shmir on the kuf on him, but it's really going in the others as opposed to he himself. Obviously, he has to go ahead and watch his own. So top line, Dalit Amadeus, Maskifla Rav Mari. So Rav Mari has question of Ema. So it says I have Ema Mav is Zahamai. Side point, why don't you say Mava is a Mava? We brought Psukim earlier that Mava was something, either was referring to a person or it was referring to, we had a case of where it was exposing and something which is normally revealed and not revealed, or exposing that which is normally covered and not, which is referring to the teeth. So why'd you say I ve'ema maviz mayim? See, the pasuk says, kidoach eish hamasim mayim tiva eish. So it says over there, right, as the fire goes ahead and burns items, right? Mayim tiva eish, right? The water, the bubbles, the fire. So in other words, over there, that the water, maybe it's damaged from my water. So Gemara says, miksiv mayim nivu. Tiva eish kasiv, right? The tiva is not going on the that which is burning up the bubbles. That which is bubbling is not referring to the water bubbling. Rather, it's referring to the fire bubbles it up. So therefore, really, it's the fire that's causing the damage, not the other. So okay, if that's the case, maybe the mavaz eish, the tiva eish, like you just pointed out, right? We're talking about the burning fire in the water. So if that's the case, you want to go ahead and reinterpret the Mishnah to say Mava over there is referring to Eish. Right? So why are there two different terms for Mava and Haver, right? Both of them are fire. Right? And according to your suggestion, shouldn't if you are saying what is Mava, that's Vehever, Ihachi, Arba, Shloisha, it's only 3, it's not 4. You just explained it. Matani shore to East Tarti. You say, oh no, shore is 2. Shore is goring, and the shore is also walking upon, right? There's regal, there's Karen, maybe that's included in the 4. Ihachi. So how do you understand the statement of this and that one has ruach hayim? Eish my ruach hayim is big. If you're teaching that mav is referring to something that is ruach hayim, it was okay to say it's referring to something which is eating, right? An animal eats, or a person, right? That's ruach hayim, right? It's not okay to say if that's fire. Fire is not a living being, so obviously it can't be referring to fire. But if you look at the Mishnah, right? The Mishnah says. These two have ruachayim, right? So obviously this one over here can't be eish. What does it mean? It's not like that of fire. It is like fire because it is fire. So therefore, throw that away. Fine.
One is literal, one is physical.
No. So one is fire, but Mava can't go ahead and be referring to fire. It has to be something with Ruach Chaim. So it has to be either.
You just say that it's like a figure of speech.
But it's not. We're talking about literal damages. What are the damages listed in the Mishnah? So now, all right, 2 dots.
So Rabbi Shmuel's machlokas still stands on Mava.
Right, it still stands. So Tani, Rabbi Ishia, Shloisha Asar Abayis Nezikin. There are 13 Avos in the Zikin. So let's see what they are. So there's basically 3 groups. It's going to be 4, 5, 4. Let's see. Shem Yechidam, Hashayel, Noisei Schar, V'Hasaycher. All right, we're going to put this in one category. All right, this is basically someone who's a custodian or a guard, right? Someone who's watching for free, right? They knows he's doing you a favor, or someone who's borrowing it, all the benefits with them, right? They're chai for even einsin, or a renter, or a paid watchman. Those people are chai for kneva v'aveda, right? So that's 4. Nezek, the actual damage, right? Let's say you damage something, you cause someone damage, right? And nezek, there's tsar, right? So, and there's the pain, the ripui, sheves, uboishas, right? So basically, so those are so right. So those 5 we will go ahead and group together, right? Right. In other words, right. Now, as Nezek over there, right? Mark's referred to Nezek as a person's his status, what his value was before, and now his value after. That's called the actual. That's called the minimum amount of damage, right? With the difference in value now. Tsar is pain. Ripui is his medicine, his doctor's bills, right? Sheves is his time off of work, and Bosh is that he got embarrassed. So that's 5. So that's 4 plus 5. The Arba the Masnisen and the 4 mentioned in our Mishnah. Sure, for those, right? Those cases. So I'll tell you, so there, verse 13. I betana dida my time alay tani hani. So why did our Mishnah say there are 4 of us? Why didn't it say 13 of us? So bish loma Shmuel. So now let's go. This is okay according to Shmuel, who holds that the case matters. Shmuel said that mave was shame. All right, so therefore, it's referring to an animal. So bish loma Shmuel niske mama kamari beniske gufa like kamari. We're talking about where your property does damage. So those ones that are listed in our Mishnah were items that were listed that your property did. But this Rav Hoshia is including things that, let's say, you did as a watchman, or you cause pain. You talk about you doing damage, now your property doing damage. So it makes sense according to Shmuel. We're just talking about your property doing damage. That's why there's 4. El the Rab, according to Rab, who says that Adam is included in it. So we're talking also about human doing damage. Listi Tani, right? So Listi, you should listen. So where it says no Tani Adam, the other. That which says Adam is referring to all categories of Adam. I understand. So Rabbi Shia, he wrote Adam, right? So Trey Gavni Adam, right? So there's 2 types of Adam. Satana Adam, the Azik Adam, Satana Adam, the Azik Shor. Now there's 2 types. That which it's Adam is referring to just when you damage property. When you go ahead and you damage a person, that when it becomes different, that becomes Nezek and those items.
Right.
Shor Nami. Listening Trey Gavni Shor, right? What about the Shor? You should have 2 types of Shor, right? So in other words, let's say you have a case of right, if it goes ahead and damages, right? There's different applications of how much the Shor is chayiv. So you say, right? So it's saying listening Shor the Azik Shor, listening Shor the Azik Adam, right? When a Shor damages a person versus when a Shor damages property. So God says, "Hi, Mike. I understand. So, what are you trying to ask, right? So, Bishlama Adam the Azik Shor Nezeku the Mishalim, right? Adam the Azik Adam Mishalim Arba Devar. So, when you were saying when a person damages a shore, when a person damages a person, it's 2 different things. That's why it's listed twice. When you damage a shore, you just pay for the damages. When you damage a person, you also have to tack on all the other damages on top of the decrease in value, right? The pain, the suffering, the medication, right? Ella shore. Mali shor the azik shor, mali shor the azik adam. Either that's a kudim mashalim. Well, it doesn't make a difference what the if the shore damage a person or another shore, he pays for damages. So the Gemara says, okay, well, there's still another category. The adam azik shorhu. That this is a case of where, let's say, they cause damage to somebody who's supposed to be watching, and they gets damaged, and therefore they're responsible, right? It's like a case where you damage property. Who Victoni, and it says it over there. So why do you have to list that separately, right? There's, that we're talking about damaging property. It's the same as earlier, the Mazik Shor. So it says, no. Tani Hezekah the B'dayim, Tani Hezekah the Memela, right? So over there was a Hezekah the B'dayim. In other words, when I go ahead and actually damage something. The other one is I didn't actively damage it. I just didn't watch it properly, so it got damaged. So therefore, those are considered to be 2 different separate categories of damage, and therefore they're listed separately. Satani Reb Chia, and says Reb Chia. So we had our Mishnah, which was 4. We had Reb Shia, which was 13. Now Tani Reb Chia, Esrin v'arba others. There's 24 categories of nezikin. So Tashlumi Kefel. So when one goes ahead, he has to go ahead and pay double. Right? The Tashlumi arba v'chamisha, or when he goes ahead and he steals and he slaughters, he has to pay 4 or 5. That's 2. Right? Well, the Ganov, right, and one who steals. The Gazlan, and one one is behind his back, one's in front of him. The Eidim Zaymin, these are all different cases where one is chayav money. That's 5 already. The Oines, one who goes ahead and violates a woman, he has to go ahead and pay 50 shkalim. The Amafata, or what seduces, right, or Onis Mafata, he has to pay for his pain. Mafata is seduction, pay the father. Mitzi Shemra, or if he marries a woman and says she was not a psula, and it turns out he was lying, he has to pay the father. The Amatame, one who goes ahead and doesn't physically change, but he's matame someone's crops, he has to pay for that. Vamadama, or he mixes up their truma, that's 10. Vamanasech, or one causes one's wine to be yain nesach, you have to go ahead and destroy it, that's 11. Vahani tleisar, so these 11 plus the 13 we just mentioned, plus is 24. So I Rabbi Yeshua, my time lo tani hani. Why did all these cases? So it says the minor kamai, we're only talking about reimbursement of mammon. The knas alay. We're not talking about different knas. Those are all the category of knas. So therefore, since we won't touch the category of knas, therefore they're not listed. So I gan of the gazlan. The minahu, that's not a knas. Now, as a knas, there's a standard fine, right? 50 shkalim. I spread rumor about a woman or a ma'aneser. So the Torah is mechayiv a certain amount to pay, or you pay double, whatever it is. But over here, whatever I steal, I have to go ahead and pay. So that's mammon. That's not a knas. I gotta uganas the maynahu listening. So what says now? It says over there, a person who borrows, right? So a person who borrows. So those cases referring to somebody also those people, since they didn't since they didn't go ahead and watch, therefore you don't need to lift the case of Gana the Gaza, right? Because those cases they would be they'd be chayv. I Reb Chia Nami Hatanile, right? So that's the case. So why did Reb Chia list it, right? So Tani reminded the Asli Yadibatera, but Tani reminded the Asli Davis. No, two types of Geneva. One is the case where it came into your hand appropriately, i.e., here, you watch my thing. So he gave it to me, and then I was negligent. So now I'm chayiv to pay, right? The other one is the case where I just take it from him without permission, and therefore, since there's two different types of cases, therefore they're listed separately according to Reb Chia. We'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue the questions. Yeah.
What is being closed? Actually, is
So he.